Today is May 18th, 2018, a day on Mobius Final Fantasy I have been looking forward to since at least January, if not last October. So today we're going to talk about weapons. And before we get started, I suppose I should look at my weapons. I've got a Hermit Cane from, I think, just the regular Mage class, which allows Ultimate Charger and Piercing Break, which are my favorite things. I have a Chaos Crescent, which is my favorite weapon on the game, fully upgraded, with Auto Charger and Ultimate Charger and Piercing Break, and I use this for just about everything I do right now. I have a Brotherhood because I have Spellword Strafe. I didn't build the attack up, it doesn't need it. And I have a Wolf Star here, which I'm working on, which has Piercing Break and Fast Break. I don't really love any of the monk weapons, but this one looks like it might be pretty good if I ever need one. The ones I'm currently working on upgrading, I have a Savotvit, which I'm really excited about. It's a damage-dealing weapon for Maya. It comes from the Vesna Krasna. The Chaos Crescent, of course, comes from the Forvist. Next is a Taji. It is another monk weapon. It has Ultimate Charger and Auto Charge, but it doesn't have the Piercing Break. So I think this one comes from the Hermit, and the other one comes from the Master Monk for my monk weapons. This is an Eternity Staff. It comes from the Mystic Sage. It's a damage-dealing mage weapon, and this one, I believe, comes from the Mystic Sage, as I said. The Braveheart comes from the Mystic Knight. It's a damage-dealing knight weapon. The Artemis Bow is Sarah's version of the Chaos Crescent, which is why I've been waiting until May 18th to start really working on weapons hardcore, because I love this weapon, and so I wanted to make sure I could use Sarah as a breaker, just like I used Maya as a breaker. I have a Rising Sun that comes from the first Ranger class again. It's like a Hermit Cane. It's got Ultimate Charger and Piercing Break. This is going to be my primary Ranger weapon. I've got a Cortana, which is another Knight weapon. This one has Steel Guard, Ultimate Charger, and Piercing Break. I think it's going to be great for a defending class, or for any time I actually have to take damage when I'm working up the towers. And then lastly, I have a Zwil Crossblade. I think this is from the Thief of Tantalus. It's a damage-dealing ranger weapon. And that's all of mine. So, we need a few things if we're going to work on weapons. First thing we need is seeds. That means we're going to the Gigantuar Terrace. I've been saving these things up for a long time. I have one of these started already because I didn't want to run through the whole thing. And I'm going to need some cards to get me through this as quick as possible. So this is my attack loadout. I've got 2 Brynhildr Sicariuses. I've got a Growing Egg I got in a tower. These guys both have 50% skill seed increase, and this one has 20, and then I have a Hikoncher Sicarius that has 10 total. It's the best one I have for Earth. Usually I'd put the Lightning Sicariuses here, but there's no option for upgrading weapons with light today, so unfortunately my 2 Lightning Sicariuses that are up to 45% seed increase, I just can't use them today. So I want to be able to get through these rounds as possible. I have 732 elixirs. I will talk about that in a little bit. Those were all purchased on sale or gotten without purchasing them from just things for playing the game. I had 790 when the day started, so I've taken a big chunk out of that today. Alright, I'm going to get through this as quick as possible. 1, 2, 3, and then I don't really want to have to think after this battle, so I'll just this up. And now I should have let's worry about the rest of the battle. And the beautiful thing about having Ultimate, which again is my really lucky pull I got last October. I didn't actually pull for all. And I use it for just about everything because it's got Guard on it, which ignores moments.
But I wasn't done playing!
Okay. So how many seeds did I get from that? Quite a few. I can do a little bit better. Why didn't I get any Earth seeds? Oh, they're maxed out. That was really dumb. Oh well. Yeah, so, whoops. Shouldn't have done that. I'll fix it later. So, next thing I need is a bunch of crystal. If you're doing the Ultima weapons, you don't really need that. Now, I know that the Gigantuar Battlefield and Lightning Resurrection Part 2 is the best place per stamina that you can get crystal. I'm not interested in the best place per stamina, I am interested in the best place for time. So, why is that? If it was any other day of the week but Mobius Day, I'd be farming that particular location just like everybody else is. But it's not. Today is Mobius Day. And if I farm the 1400 or so crystal that I was going to need for this big weapons project that I started devising last January, October, I don't remember exactly when I did it.
Your rage betrays you.
Then, you know, farming in Maya's Shade to get the remaining crystal I needed at the beginning of the day would be something like 900 or so, it would take me 12 hours. If I was going to farm that same crystal on the Gigantuar Battlefield and the Lightning Resurrection, it would take me 60 hours. So that's 48 additional hours of crystal farming. That's a long time.
Bring
How
open
many
the cooler
elixirs
and
is
get
it going
ready
to cost
to
me in the long run? Somewhere between 40 and 80, and it just so happens to be the case that you can get 60 elixirs for 4,000 magicite. So our basic calculation is, do I want to spend 48 hours, or do I want to spend for 4,000 magicite?
Back to the live stream with you.
It's not valuable. And if you're not willing to spend it, that's fine. Just farm the 4,000 magicite.
Wither!
Part of which you could get while you're working with a Gigantuar Terrace during the week. But on Mobius Day, if you want to do things quickly, you farm in Maya's Shade. And I've got this set up so that most of the time computer gets 10 points. It really doesn't matter because we only have the 4-star crystal growing eggs that we're getting anything from at the moment. And then one little last note on elixirs. If I was going to do the Ultima weapons, it would take about, I think, 650 elixirs to do 6 of them. If you're doing all 6 of them at once, if you have the slots for that. It's going to take me somewhere between 950 and 1,000 total elixirs to do all the weapons that I've been working on.
Stop right there!
I've been slowly working on some of them for quite some time, but my linchpin weapon, the weapon that's going to make it take the longest amount of time, is my
Bring
spot.
open the cooler and get ready to party!
So I've probably got it down to, I don't know, 850 elixirs left to go. Maybe a little bit less than that after today. It's kind of hard for me to tell right now. But 900 elixirs, if that's what it's going to end up taking me, well, you know, 90 divided by 60 is 15. 15 times 4,000 is 60,000. 60,000 magicite. I've been planning this for months. You can farm it over that amount of time. I've obviously had to spend a little bit of money recently because I wanted to get the Earzian Minstrel and the Earzian Knight and the Psycom Officer. So I put a little bit into it, and, you know, Lights of Hope is coming up soon, so I'm hoping I can get that without spending too much, because that's the last card I really want on this game. Well, that and Witch Origin, but it's the last ultimate card that I really want on this game. Okay, so we need to start working on the time. Ooh, my controlling weapon is down to 56 minutes. That is an awkward amount. What is that, 6 magicite? Whatever. Alright. 3 hours. That's a little bit better. So I'm not going to worry about that one. So if my minimum time is about 3 hours, and in fact I don't care about this one, so I'm just going to work on these two, so I'm going to go to the 4.5 hour slot. So we got 3 hours over here on the left hand side, we got 4.5 hours in the middle, and we've got 7.5 hours of time off on the 100 one. So, oh shoot, I left my crystal out. I wonder if I'm going to be okay. Oh yeah. If you're following Sound Barrel is a little bit more powerful. So I should just be able to blast through these. Make sure this is fully charged. Take it out. I think think I had enough light left. I usually like going with the Gram Vamp because of prismatic shield. I don't have the shield yet. I'll probably puller when I'm going for light support.
Don't tread on this flower. Enough!
Okay.
Glad you had your day in the sun.
So, that's going to open up a couple of them. And we've got... I mean, I should be paying more attention to what I'm doing in terms of upgrades, but at the moment I'm just kind of picking whatever. I gotta modify 608 crystals on me. Alright, what's my lowest one now? 1 hour, 35 minutes. That's not my controlling weapon, so I don't really care that much. I would usually head over to the 3-hour one, but I want to get this video done, so I'm going to run over to the main one. Yeah, sure, spend another elixir, that's fine. That's what I got them for, farming weapons. It's actually the main reason I chose to spend money on Final Fantasy Mobius in the first place, is because there are aspects of this game, in particular weapons, that are not gacha. So you can know exactly what you're going to get back for your investment. And I call it an investment, which is probably a little bit of a stretch. I mean, that's really what it is. I've chosen to say that I'm going to put a lot of time and energy into this particular game. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that in the best way possible. Can I take you out with 2 ultimates? Give it a try. Come on, you can do it. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's right, it doesn't matter. It's actually better this way. Okay. Brings me into the last round of this.
I shall rock you to the very core.
I just have to have prismatic shift. And ultimate charger. And etc. I'm pretty sure that I can take it out with 3.
I have to admit,
The other option for doing time is, instead of actually running through them, you can open up and you can close. The problem is, usually it's 3.5 hours, 4.5 hours, 7 hours. If you don't actually fight through the battles, it's 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours. I went through and calculated out how many extra elixirs that would take me, and I got back 450. Now, 450 elixirs, in addition to the 900 that I already needed, is basically 50% increased cost. No surprise, because it takes 50% more stamina at that point. So I think I'm just going to fight through it. Finally, I wish I had some red... I have some red gauge scrapping weapons. I wish I had some yellow scrapping weapons. Those would have flash break, and they would have prismatic return, and they would have critical damage increase. They aren't out yet. So I'm going to work on the weapons I have here now, and if I find out later on that indeed I need a yellow gauge scrapping weapon, I'll probably get the one for Maya, because I always play these games as a sorceress. So I think that's probably it for my fast weapon farming guide. Hope it helps somebody.